While most of the protests on campus have been pro-Palestine, there is another group fighting for media attention. We'll look at student reactions and coverage of both sides of the war in Gaza.
Plus, the Middleway House is providing a little bit of extra love to those who may need it this Valentine's week.
And how Mackenzie Holmes continues to amaze us as she broke IU's all-time scoring record this past weekend. All that and more. IU NewsNet starts now.
Welcome to IU NewsNet. I'm Isabel.
And I'm Kennedy Rehklau. We begin with a developing federal investigation into anti-Semitism on campus. The Department of Education Office for Civil Rights opened an investigation into IU on February 5th for alleged anti-Semitism. This is a response to a Title VI complaint received in December from Zachary Marshall, the editor-in-chief of Campus Reform, a conservative national media outlet. In the complaint, Marshall alleges IU failed to adequately respond to anti-Semitism on campus. Marshall filed 21 complaints against universities, and the OCR has opened investigations into several of them.
Just how wide is the scope of anti-Semitism on campus? There has been an uptick in protests, but mostly on the pro-Palestine side.
IU NewsNet's Zeke Shapiro joins us with a story about messaging of each side of the conflict. Zeke?
Thanks, Kennedy. With the Israel and Palestine debate causing conflict on campus, the student media faces the predicament of giving both sides equal attention.
That's how we stand up. When Palestine is under attack, what do we do?
On IU's campus, the pro-Israel and pro-Palestine ideologies are creating a rift, and the media is caught in the middle.
It's been really difficult. It's definitely the hardest thing I've encountered.
For Salome Cloteau, the editor-in-chief of the IDS, it is like fighting a losing battle, and they are under siege. More and more pro-Palestinian demonstrations have led to more media coverage of their cause. Therefore, two groups with radically different political stances now also have different opinions on the media. Starting last Monday, the Palestinian Solidarity Committee started holding weekly sit-ins at the Starbucks at the IMU. It was just another example of the PSC's continuous efforts to get their message on campus. A member of the PSC who wishes to remain anonymous explained that the media attention helps.
So it's definitely great to see more media covering our protests and hearing directly from our organizers.
However, on the other side of the political spectrum, the pro-Israel community has taken the stance that the student media is knowingly avoiding discussing their side.
Again, I think it's anti-Semitism. I think they talk about that their voices are silenced. It's our voices who are being silenced. It's the voices of the Jewish community and the supporters of the Jewish community's voices who are in reality being silenced.
Back at the IDS, the paper has been swamped with requests for op-eds and general displeasure with the way that the coverage has been conducted.
I'd say 97% of the emails that I got were angry emails. But I understand that just happens. Angry people write more than happy people.
It's no secret that protests attract coverage. The question on campus is whether the loudest voices tip the scales when it comes to media coverage. The problem is also that a lot of the requests for op-ed articles have been very aggressive and have very hateful language.
Understood. Thanks, Zeke.
We have an update now on a related story. A controversial art exhibit by Palestinian artist Samia Halaby that was previously canceled by IU is back on, but it is now being held off campus. Halaby's exhibit was set to open in the Eskenazi Museum of Art last week, but IU administrators canceled the show in late December, citing security concerns. The exhibit was intended to showcase Halaby's abstract artwork as well as her life. Following this cancellation, several groups formed a petition to reinstate Halaby's work. American Association of University Professors, or AUUP, will be sponsoring what they called Samia Halaby Uncanceled this weekend.
No part of the funding for the Buskirk-Chumley or for the flyers or for the program or anything else has come from Indiana University funds.
You can see the exhibit at the Buskirk-Chumley Theater this Saturday beginning at 7 in the evening.
It's been almost exactly 1 year since an Asian student was stabbed in the head in a racially motivated attack on a bus. Where does it stand now? Our Sarah Molina joins us from the scene.
That's right. I'm here at the bus stop right off of 4th Street, where the Asian student said she was getting ready to get off the bus when she was stabbed repeatedly in the head by a white woman, Billy Davis, last January. Davis confessed to the stabbing, saying it was, quote, one less person to blow up our country.
While police did make an arrest in 2023, Indiana's lack of hate crime laws made it impossible to pursue the charge until the case went federal, which is why nationwide Asian American women's group NAPOF relaunched as Hoosier Asian American Power 1 year later to spotlight Indiana's injustices.
There are people in our communities who still feel very much unsafe, right? And so I think coming out and saying, like, we are a group of individuals here who are looking to help empower collectively Asian Americans in the state, I think can be something that people can look to.
They say since the pandemic, anti-Asian hate crimes have been on the rise. And just 2 weeks ago, Davis was finally found competent to stand on trial.
ABC News reported a 75% increase in Asian American hate crimes since 2020. And while they await the trial date, Hoosier Asian American Power plans to continue fighting for equity in Indiana. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sarah. Another cyclist has been struck by a car in Bloomington ahead of Indiana University's Little 500 race. This latest incident comes as many begin their preparation for Indiana's historic week on the tracks and in the coming months, and is one of the many to occur on IU's campus within the past months. The victim, who wishes to remain anonymous, was not seriously injured from the incident, but has now hit a serious setback in their training. As weather gets warmer and wheels get set in motion, the importance of rider safety comes into focus.
Being safe on the road is a lot harder, obviously, with cars and things that are out of your control, being able to impact your safety and ability to do what you want to do in a safe manner. What we tell riders is to make sure that you're getting resources, whether it's from your team captain, online, or coaches that are trying to instruct you on how to ride safely on the road.
With outdoor activity quickly on the rise, authorities advise both riders and drivers to be vigilant of their surroundings and wear bright color clothing. When we get back, how the Indiana Memorial Union is honoring Black History Month with the kind of art they say is long overdue.
And how organizations on campus are helping get Narcan into the hands of students to potentially help save a life. You're watching IU NewsNet. Tau Epsilon Phi has been put on cease and desist effective on Monday following yet another hazing incident on IU's campus. TEP, alongside 5 other Greek fraternities on campus, is placed on temporary suspension until further notice due to a threat or ongoing investigation. This is the 3rd fraternity to receive this disciplinary measure within the last month. Further misconduct could lead these organizations to additional consequences and/or expulsion from the university.
And now to a problem on this and every campus. Students know that if you buy illicit drugs, you risk exposure to fentanyl. Overdoses have become so common that Narcan, a drug used to reverse opioid overdose, is available now in many places. But is it available enough on the IU campus?
You could save their life.
University and student organizations have noticed there's a real problem on campus: the lack of Narcan and life-saving education.
Out of 22 sororities, I had 14 reach out to me saying that they were either low or didn't have any at all. And obviously 18 fraternities, that's deeply problematic.
One thing that we noticed throughout this past year is that a lot of the resources that we needed were already there. It just no one had put them together.
And putting them together is just what is being done. The first step is distributing products around campus in easily accessible locations.
There's like Indiana Recovery Alliance, who we're getting our Narcan from. We already have 400 doses that we have earmarked for IUSG. So our plan is to hopefully get those into the dorms, get them for first-year students through tabling.
However, without the proper knowledge on how to use Narcan, there is no guarantee a life will be saved. Therefore, Pan-Hellenic Council and the Interfraternity Council paired up to put on a training event for chapters.
2 representatives from the health department are coming, and they're going to be giving training to the houses that are getting Narcan for maybe not the first time, but a new installment of it as they've finished their last supply of it, or even if they just never had it in the first place.
For students outside of these organizations, the university has additional information and training that can be found with a quick Google search.
Now, the one place that students can go to get Narcan all the time is in the Student Health Center. They have a lockbox within their doors that I believe is open 24/7, and if someone wants to go get Narcan, they can go do it.
As a last resort, Narcan packaging has directions on how to administer and precautionary steps to save someone from having an overdose. And as always, dial 911. If you Google Narcan training, you'll find a link to a training module from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
With Valentine's Day just behind us, many still have love on their mind. One group made sure to show their love to those who could use a little bit extra during this holiday. The 21st Leadership Corps and Alpha Phi Omega partnered to put together care packages for residents at Middleway House. Middleway House is a local nonprofit organization that provides services to survivors of domestic and sexual violence and their children. The care packages included essentials like shampoo and conditioner, along with some fun treats like snacks and drinks.
It just kind of opens your eyes of, how much stuff goes on in the Bloomington community that us being an IU students, we're kind of sheltered from. And I think that, getting out there and becoming more aware about the issues in our community will, help us be able to know how we need to help.
Kristen Howard says she looks forward to coordinating more service events with Middleway House in the future. To donate or volunteer with Middleway House, you can visit middlewayhouse.org for more information.
The Indiana Memorial Union is honoring Black History Month through art. The IMU installed 3 new paintings that were created by Black artists. The 3 paintings were chosen by the Union Board, IU Student Government, and the Neil Marshall Black Culture Center. One of the reasons the IMU wanted to add new art was to more accurately represent the student body.
The subjects of the paintings didn't reflect what the campus is like. And part of the mission of the union is about helping people feel like they belong.
In 2021, the IMU had only 2% of its art created by people of color, while 25% of the student body identified as people of color.
Student entrepreneurship looks a little different this semester with a new setup located on Kirkwood in the Vaughn Lee building. IU Innovates equips student entrepreneurs with several amenities, from whiteboards and conference rooms to an outdoor patio with a view of sample gates. Students have access to center to work on startups and collaborate with teammates. The center had its grand opening in November, but is now officially open for student access. Coming up, bikes are back on the track in preparation for Little 5, and the IU tennis team is coming out swinging.
And we highlight this hometown Hoosier who's swinging for the fences. IU NewsNet Sports coming up next. Kara, what a pleasure it's been to watch the IU women's basketball team this year.
I know.
They've been breaking records and taking names.
They have. They swept Purdue, and Mackenzie Holmes and Sarah Scalia both set new records. And speaking of, there's a new all-time leading scorer in town. Now Mackenzie Holmes has surpassed Tyra Buss's all-time scoring record of 2,365 points this past Sunday. In the fourth quarter, Yarlin Garzone found Holmes underneath, and she made the layup to officially take the record. The graduate student has been a critical piece to Indiana's success over the past couple years, and this is a milestone that has been on Indiana fans' radar for quite a while.
It's just a really special thing for me to wear Indiana across my chest every single day and play in Assembly Hall. Has just been one of the greatest blessings in my life. So I think I just was kind of feeling that when I saw, Tyra and Amanda up there on the screen.
And while it is an incredible individual milestone, Coach Morin spoke highly of how it never affected Mackenzie's dedication to the team as a whole, doting her as a true team player and one who is at Indiana to win championships. Moving from the women to the men, the Indiana men's basketball team is in desperate need of a Big Ten win this Sunday. The Hoosiers will host the 8-5 Northwestern Wildcats, led by graduate player Boo Buie, who's averaging 18.8 points per game. And most Indiana fans probably remember the game winner he had against the Hoosiers last season. Northwestern has wins against Purdue and Illinois and is coming into Sunday's game on a 2-game win streak. With Xavier Johnson still out indefinitely, every Hoosier is going to have to step up to get a win on Sunday. And from the court to the diamonds, the Indiana softball team is off to a hot start after going 4-1 in the NFCA Leadoff Classic. The Hoosiers headed down to Clearwater and started the weekend off with a big win against number 15 Oregon. They fell to number 5 Clemson 2-3, but went on to win against Army, Kansas, and North Carolina Central. D1 softball and Softball America ranked the Hoosiers within the top 25 this week. And for more on Indiana softball this season, we have our own Emma Watson in studio. Emma?
Thanks, Kara. Indiana softball is looking to continue its success from last season with Team 51. And a big piece of their accomplishments is this hometown hero. Here's the story.
Softball is a game of failure. Every strike, dropped ball, or missed swing impacts the entire game. But Indiana softball's Taylor Minnick doesn't feel that trepidation. Instead, she uses it as motivation.
I'm definitely like a hard worker. I, go after what I want. Like I have goals that I have set, every year and in my head as an individual and team. And so I think I'm gonna, strive for those goals.
Minnick began her softball career when she was 6 years old.
I remember me and my dad going out to the backyard and we'd hit BP and I would be so excited when I hit the ball over our fence that we had. And it's always been important to me to be able to play in front of my family.
The Bloomington native did not have to travel far to play college softball. Although she originally committed to University of Tennessee, Minnick flipped to the Hoosiers when she was in high school.
I think as I started getting older and realizing different things, I wanted to stay close to home, I wanted to do certain things, and then once this coaching staff got to IU, it was a gimme. I knew I wanted to come here, so I made the change.
Taylor Minnick as a player is an incredible hitter. We knew when she was committed to another institution, she used to come out here on clinics on Wednesday night, and the first time I walked out and saw her hitting off of a tee just in the warm-up drill, and it's like, man, we got to have that kid.
During a historic run last year, Minnick became one of the many standouts for the softball team. Her performances at the plate produced a .390 batting average with 12 home runs, 11 doubles, and 55 total RBI. Her numbers garnered a place on the All-Big Ten first team and earned her NFCA All-American status, becoming the first All-American softball player from Bloomington in program history. But for Minnick, her focus remains forward on the season ahead, and she's hungry for more.
We definitely know what we can get to, and I think we're definitely hungry to show people what we can do, because I think people are still kind of, Indiana, last year, whatever, but I think we're definitely picking up where we left off and are going to do more than what we did last year.
For Minnick and the Hoosiers, that success will come one game at a time.
Minnick and the rest of Team 51 will travel to Alabama this weekend for the Troy Invite. Kara, back to you.
Thank you, Emma. And now on to baseball season. This Friday, they head to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for Baseball at the Beach. They'll take on number 12 Duke to kick off the weekend, as well as number 18 Coastal Carolina. They'll wrap up the weekend taking on George Mason. With junior pitcher Luke Sennard being ruled out for the season in the fall, the search for the ace is still underway. Head coach Jeff Mercer has said he'll rotate a couple different pitchers around this weekend, but he feels confident about his team's depth. This weekend will be a good test to see where the Hoosiers stand. The Hoosiers on the diamond aren't the only ones who've been practicing the past few weeks. Little 500 rookie riders are gearing up for their all-important rookie exam, which is due this week. Our Austin Platt was at the track and has the latest. Austin?
Thanks, Kara. I'm here inside Bill Armstrong Stadium this week during Rookie Week. Very important for first-time riders as they prepare for qualifications and, most importantly, in their hopes, the little 500. Riders have to be here all week and have to complete at least 7.5 hours in order to qualify for qualifications, and then 17.5 hours on top of that if they want to race in the little 500.
It's great to get experience around other riders that are at the same level as me, and it's I think it's vital if you even want a shot to make it to race day and race for your team, especially on a team with 9 riders. The chances are pretty slim of making race day.
Riders have had this week and the past week in order to prepare, and everything leads up to the rookie exam on Friday, which is due at 11:59. It's a test online on campus, which all riders have to successfully pass if they want to ride in the little 500. Things are just ramping up, but qualifications are just around the corner. Kara, back to you.
Thanks, Austin. And to wrap things up, last weekend, the Indiana men's tennis team pulled off one of their biggest upsets in a while. The Hoosiers went into Sunday on an impressive 6-game win streak, looking to avenge the loss to Middle Tennessee State from last year. Despite the new young roster, IU defeated the Blue Raiders in a razor-thin 4-3 match. The Hoosiers extended their winning streak to 7 and will look to continue their strong play against Rice University this Saturday. That's all for IU Sports this week. And guys, Indiana women's basketball continues to break records. Last night, Sarah Scalia broke the record for the single most made threes in a season.
Thanks, Kara.
And that's it for IU NewsNet for now. We have a behind-the-scenes student production team in the control room and working in the studio for this broadcast. We thank them and we thank you for watching. I'm Kennedy Rehklau.
And I'm Isabel Hook. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at IU NewsNet. Take care, and we'll see you next week.